Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Carlos X360 channel. Today, we're going to talk about Steam Machine because it just went live. Okay? So, it says here, Steam Machine is here. Sign up now. And it has a little graphic going on around here. Let me scroll down a little bit. Normal. Let's go ahead. Now, normal page. That's Steam Machine. Your game's on the big screen. Okay. You want a sticker shock? Get ready. You scroll down. You see Steam Machine. Now, let me start with what I see here. Steam Machine 512 gigabytes. No. Yeah, gigabytes. So that means like half a terabyte. So CPU is semi-custom AMD Zen 4 6 CUDA cores and 12 teraflops. GPU semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 28 CUDA cores. CUDA units, I don't remember. I'll look at it later. I'll make like a correction here somewhere. So anyway, 16 gigabyte DDR5 plus 8 gigabyte GDR6V RAM. So there's a difference here, okay? DDR5, this part right here is just for the memory storage. This part right here is for the video RAM. So in other words, what they display. How much memory is going to hold all that information. So, 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD solid state drive, okay? And there's a micro SD card slot. I said that twice, but that's my mistake. Sorry. I meant to say micro SD card slot. Wi-Fi 6E. So that's a little bit above Wi-Fi 6. So Bluetooth 5.3 gigabit Ethernet, integrated Steam controller, wireless adapter, small form factor 6-inch cube, otherwise known as Gabe Cube. Steam OS 3, that's the third version of the system. Okay, so this bundle is the same thing. That's what they're calling it, a bundle. Okay, so you have the controller. Okay, note the price. Okay, now next one is Core again, but this time it has extra face plates, red fabric, and solid walnut. So it looks like a brown shade red color, and the other one is like a wooden faceplate. So now you have 2 terabyte SSD. Now the final one is 2 terabyte with controller. So from here, you got 512 gigabyte for $1,049. 512 gigabyte with controller, $1,128. You are crazy at this point. So, not even with the controller. Okay? Not a controller. Okay? 2 terabyte, nothing with it. 1,349. Get ready for the Whopper because I know you can see this now. 2 terabyte with controller. 1,428. Crazy. Okay? So, those are the 4 systems. So, that doesn't guarantee you the system. That doesn't even consider you buy the system. So, you have to accept to the terms. Join the list anytime before June 25th at 10 a.m. PT Pacific time, which is in Seattle. They're based in Seattle. So, Washington, Seattle. Same headquarters as Microsoft. So, on that date, the list will be closed and randomized, and you will receive an email with your result shortly after. I've read and accept the terms and conditions, and then there's like a big button to sign in to join the list. So previously with the Steam controller, you had to go to the same screen and you had to click the button, and the difference between this one and the other one is when you want to buy the Steam controller, you have to buy a game, okay, to get access to the controller. And that is a waiting list, not a lottery system. So now, hold on. So now you got this Steam, Cool and Quiet, IO for Days. So yeah, that's the Steam machine so far. I don't think a lot of people like the price because for the most part we were expecting PlayStation 5 Pro price. Okay? So the PlayStation 5 Pro is, if I remember correctly, somewhere around $900, somewhere there. Just one second. So I found this section right here. I thought this was interesting. Okay, so there's a question in this section here. Okay, it says, "Is this the Valve console?" We think of Steam Machine as an extension of PC gaming, not as a console. The traditional console model is to sell hardware at a loss and make up the revenue with subscription services by selling games that are locked into the hardware. We think that this can make sense for a single business in the short term, but that open ecosystems are better for customers over the long term. PC gaming's history proves this. The openness of the PC gaming space has enabled it to be the primary driver of hardware and software innovation for decades. The strength of PC gaming is the ability to play the games that you want on the hardware that you want. Steam Machine is a solution to these problems, and we think is a great one, but it's not the only solution, and we don't want it to be. Okay, that's clever wording. Alright, so the general consensus is, I said this a while ago, okay? I said, bro, stop the cap. Xbox Series X is $800. PlayStation 5 Pro is $900. So I was correct. Steam Deck is $950. Asus ROG Ally X is $1,000. Project Helix is said to be a premium console hybrid. So where does Steam Machine sit? It's right between Steam Deck and Asus ROG Ally X at 1,000. Okay? I would put it right over here, ROG Ally X, because it's about 1,049. But here's the thing. The marketplace for Steam Machine is right next to Steam Deck and the ROG Ally X. It's right there. I think that's their competition right there. But I remiss if I don't mention it. Project Helix hasn't been revealed yet. Codename Magnus, the chip itself, we don't know where that's gonna go. We don't know what the name of the next console is. We don't know what the project entails. So this economy is gonna break at some point. Okay? Alright, so I saw this article recently. So well, it's not an article, but like a tweet. Alright, so the Steam Machine hype just got bigger. Fresh leak claimed that Valve's upcoming gaming system beats PS5 in a single core CPU test. And there's like a benchmark right here. So, like I said, it's somewhere around the power of a Steam Deck and a ROG Ally. Okay? So, this is what I said. Oof. If that's true, then Steam Machine is a monster of a console. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are powerful consoles, but one of them run on a bloated software. Windows. I wonder how well games will run on Steam Deck. Not Steam Deck. Steam Machine. I'm messing up my words. Sorry, guys. I wonder how well games will run since it's SteamOS powered. So what I meant to say is Windows is bloated, like I said before. Windows is very bloated that it sucks up the RAM, it sucks up the CPU power, the graphics power at levels that makes no sense. So Xbox Series S holds back Xbox Series X consoles because it is running through a chip, but 20% of the computing power is through Windows. The rest of it is the game console slash the processes for the game. So the game can take a lot of the resources, but the problem is it is hampered or held back by the Windows ecosystem. So whatever processes, let me put it this way. Here is my computer, right? This is Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, correct? But it's only using 1% of the CPU because I'm not doing any processes that takes the CPU power right now. That goes for the GPU also. So if you look over here, the memory, 9 gigs. 9 gigs. %31 of the system. That should never happen. Never. It's because there's 100 processes. The threads are 2,800. The speed is 4 gigahertz. There's a lot of handles over here. So if we're using SteamOS, how much of this is going to be used? How much of the CPU is going to be used? How much of the GPU is going to be used? That's the question. I'm not even using game mode at all. And this is only using memory at 9 gigs. That's crazy. So, again, I go back to what I'm saying here. Okay? Xbox Series X and S, they require certain processes to run in the background in order the Xbox game mode, whatever you call it in the SDK of Xbox software development kit. So yeah, that'll be all for this video. Like, subscribe, comment, share the video, talk about ColorSex 360. I'll see you guys later. Stay awesome.